This is The Joe Gaither Show on BamaCentral.com.
Good afternoon, Tuscaloosa, Internet world. West Alabama, how we doing today on this happy hump day? It's the first day of May. It's gonna be May. Yeah, man, we are right here, and it is officially getting closer and closer and closer to summer. I know a lot of you are ready for your last week of classes. I think it's finals week if you're in college, and if you're in high school or high school parents, you've got about 3 more weeks left until summer comes on. So hope you guys are having a great day. I appreciate y'all jumping in and joining us on the Joe Gaither Show right here on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. You can watch us at Joe Gaither 6 and on the Bama Central YouTube channel at Bama Central. So I appreciate everybody who has joined us on whatever channel that you like the best, or you're listening to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and on Amazon. We appreciate everybody who subscribed, rated, and reviewed the show on those platforms, or sent me a friend request on your social media platforms. Whatever you like, you can find us right there. We're going to have hopefully an interesting show today. It's more roster movement, and I feel like I've been repetitive, but really that's the main thing that's going on with Alabama athletics right now. We could talk about the softball team and their inability to hit the baseball or hit the softball, even though they're still ranked in the top 25. We can talk about the baseball team. They're rocking and rolling. They're inching closer to the end of their season, but I think everybody wants to talk about football. So let's do some football today, and it's going to be roster movement. Yesterday, the transfer portal closed. As always, you can send your comment, question, query, and complaint, especially your complaints, right there at Joe Gaither 6, and we'll put them up on the chat box and respond to them. But yesterday, the transfer portal closed. We're going to talk about the last player who went into the transfer portal from the Alabama side of things. Then we're going to count scholarships. Oh, yeah, fun math today. We're going to count scholarships as we want to find out where Alabama is on the 85 scholarship limit. And there are 2 defensive backs who have planned to come to Tuscaloosa after missing out on Ed Woods this week. Missing out on Ed Woods going from Arizona State to Michigan State. What was that, Monday, Tuesday? So he is not coming to Alabama. But 2 other cornerbacks are on the way to visit. And we'll see if Kalen DeBoer, if Kane Womack, if Maurice Linguist can close the deal with some of these transferees, as Alabama really, really is hurting at the cornerback position. So let's start with last night. About 7 o'clock. I am in the middle of my exercise. Goodness gracious, what is it with Alabama players jumping into the transfer portal in the evening? Oh, just kidding. That's a small reporter complaint. We want you to make your news from 9 to 5. Please, come on. Make your news from 9 to 5. But no, Tony Mitchell, safety from Thompson, jumps into the transfer portal after being with the team for 1 year. And really, it was a up and down year for Tony Mitchell. Y'all remember Tony Mitchell goes to spring break last year as a high schooler and gets arrested for driving 120 miles an hour and having the big old bag of marijuana in his car and a firearm. And look, we all make dumb decisions. I have a laundry list of dumb decisions to my resume as well. So I'm not here to criticize that. That's behind him, really. But it is part of the story. He has that issue in the spring. Really, Coach Saban vocally said that he was putting him through the ringer in the program. And then he seemed to be back on good graces as fall camp really started, but never broke into really any action last year. Tony Mitchell, did he ever make any appearances? I don't think he did, but let's find out. RollTide.com just to make sure. He goes, contributing to special teams. So he plays against 7 games. He played in 7 games last year, making 1 tackle, all on special teams, and a little bit he played defense against Kentucky and Chattanooga. So rotational guy, right? We all remember Tony Mitchell was very, very highly recruited. He was 5-star recruit. Excuse me. Let me mute my microphone real quick. Excuse me, that doesn't often happen, a little flim bomb, but, we worked through it. So a 5-star recruit from Thompson High School and comes to Tuscaloosa, works into some rotation, and then, look, when a new coach comes everything gets thrown out of whack. Nick Saban retires, and really the relationship, I imagine the relationship that Coach Saban and Tony Mitchell built was, growing in a positive direction. Obviously, Coach Saban holding him to a high standard and really making him kind of earn his way back on the team. But when Coach Saban retires, a new coach comes in, you don't have that rapport. Okay, we've got basically a fresh slate for everyone. And if you believe the reports from spring practice, and I do, Red Morgan, Devontae Smith basically took the lion's share of safety work throughout the spring practice. And Keon Sabb and Malachi Moore, obviously. Those two guys basically being the lead dogs, Malachi Moore and Keon Sabb. But then you had Red Morgan and Bray Hubbard kind of serving as that two guy. And what did we see earlier in the week? Cameron Howard from Charlotte coming into Tuscaloosa, another safety going to be playing in that Husky role. Tony Mitchell getting shuffled down the depth chart, not seeing his opportunity come to fruition, jumps in the transfer portal last night. I got mixed feelings just as someone close to the team. One, he has a lot of potential. Tony Mitchell had a lot of potential and probably could have helped this team this year. On the flip side, from Tony Mitchell's standpoint, dude, you want to go where you can play. And if that is at another school, now obviously it's not going to be at an SEC school. If it is at an SEC school, he will sit out a year. There have been rumors and discussions, maybe he's going to end up at Auburn. I don't know that that's the case, but if he does, he has to sit out an entire year, and I guess he'll take a redshirt year to do that. But from his standpoint, we've done it 10 different times on this show. Finite time to play football. Now, we have seen it here in Tuscaloosa. If you play one good season, that can make you millions and millions of dollars. Ask Quinnen Williams and ask Mac Jones. Both of those guys sat the bench at different positions and waited, got their opportunity. Quinnen Williams, drafted 5th overall. Mac Jones was 13th, 14th, somewhere right in that range in the first round. Both of those guys making millions of dollars in the NFL off of one successful season here in Tuscaloosa. So you've got the Alabama perspective. It's like, hey, man, wait, develop. We'll see if you grow. You'll get your opportunity. But it just doesn't necessarily work that way anymore in college football. Guys are going to really, go for where their opportunities present themselves. Just from someone, watching the program, I do find it a little bit, oh, man. And maybe this is selfish, and please chime in and say, Joe, you're selfish and wrong. That's A-okay. But I have a little bit of a, hey, man, Alabama stuck by you during that spring break affair. Alabama stuck by you during that scandal. And let's be honest, it was a scandal. Now, it's not like the worst scandal in the world, and, your life is going to be just fine. Tony Mitchell, post that. It's a blip on the radar. Hopefully you learned your lesson. But Alabama stuck by you during that, hey, man, you're in some legal hot water. You're a young kid, need to learn some lessons. Don't drive so fast on the road. Don't be smoking marijuana, having that much marijuana in your car. And if you have a firearm, make sure it's registered or to you, not to someone else or unregistered. I don't really know what the case was with that, but I know it wasn't. He got in trouble for the firearm as well with the law. I have a little bit of problem. It's not a problem, but I have a little bit of I search my soul and I feel a little bit of abrasion in my heart about he shouldn't have left. Alabama stuck by him. But look, it's 2024. You only have 4 years to play college football. If he didn't feel like he was getting a fair shake from this current staff, and some people have said that was the case, that, he played just as well as Red Morgan. He played better than Bray Hubbard. He's just as good as these guys. He's just not really getting a look that maybe he thinks he deserves. Look, it's a new staff. It's a brand new staff. Everything is new. Alabama's going to have bumps. And Tony Mitchell transferring out becomes the latest bump. But thankfully, from a football standpoint, the transfer portal closed last night. Now we might still see, this person's in the portal in the next day or two, today or tomorrow, because of paperwork. So just bear with it because of paperwork and logistics and reporting. But the transfer portal is officially closed. So with that being said, look at what Alabama lost in the spring. You lost Peyton Woodyard. You lost Tony Mitchell. You lost James Brockermeyer. You saw those guys go off, and Brockermeyer's already committed to TCU, and Peyton Woodyard looks like he's headed to Oregon. Wish those guys well, but it's time to look at the roster. What are the numbers? All right, so I went through them earlier. I counted them up, and I have 7. If you look at RollTide.com right now, you can count yourself 72 scholarship players. We're not going to go through all 72 because that would be monotonous and tedious, and you would not like that. But you can go to RollTide.com yourself and double check me. Please do. I invite that. I counted 72 scholarship players. You guys all know, what is an 85 scholarship limit? NCAA scholarship limit is football. Oh, gosh, type, Joe. Limit. It's 85, right? Duh. What's the scholarship limit? 85. Yeah, just want to make sure I was right before I give you all this stuff. It's 85. 72 are already on RollTide.com. And then you think about what Alabama's done in the transfer portal. Okay, Graham Nicholson, kicker from Miami of Ohio. Oh, Caden Proctor, left tackle from Alabama. Okay, Caden Proctor's returning. And Cameron Howard, safety from Charlotte. That puts you from 72 to 75. All right, you're still in the window. All right, you can acquire talent. But don't forget, there's still members of the class of 2024 that have not yet enrolled. It's May. These guys are coming up. Mari Jefferson, they're enrolling, May 29th, I think, is when, May 28th is when Summer 1 starts. So it's this month for these guys. At the end of this month for Summer 1 for these guys. They're finishing up their high school seasons, and they're going to get enrolled Summer 1 or Summer 2. But they're going to count against your scholarships as well. So we're at 75, and how many class of 2024s have to get into school? Ryan Williams, Noah Carter, Kevin Riley, Amari Jefferson, Rico Scott, Steve Mbuamua, Jay Lindsey, and QB Reese. That is 8, and that leaves you with 83. And so that gives you a little bit of movement. Now, if 83 is the number, obviously you've got room to add 2. But you also look at the roster and, okay, let's be honest. A couple of the guys that are state of Alabama players, I don't necessarily know for sure if they're on scholarship. I'll just be honest. Some of the fringe state of Alabama players, in-state players, I've heard rumors that, this player's not really on scholarship. He's got NIL covering his scholarship. So if that's the case, you've got more room. Now, I'm bringing that to you as something I've heard. I don't know that that's 100%, but it gives you more flexibility. If you see Alabama going over the 85 when you count on RollTide.com, when everything kind of goes through, middle of May, if you count over 85, that's what's going on there. Someone, now they're not going to say who, because I don't know I don't think that's embarrassing, but maybe looks like Alabama's fudging the rules. I think Oregon is doing a little bit of the same right now as you look at the Oregon roster. I think that they have padded their numbers because that Nike money is covering some of those scholarships. But if you see Alabama going over the 85 in the middle of May, that's really what's going on there. Some 2, some 3 guys are not really on NCAA scholarship, but NIL instead is covering their tuition. But let's just say I'm right. Let's just say we're at 83. Boom, everybody's on scholarship. Would Joe's count is correct. You got 8 guys coming in the summer. You've got 3 transferees already. You need to fill the last 2 spots. And what do you need to fill them with, bro? Golly, look through the roster, and you've got 2 massive problems. 2 massive problems. Now, you can disagree. Please do if you do. But I think the corner room is a massive problem. Look, I see the corner room. I see Damani Jackson, former 5-star recruit. I see Xavier Brown. I see Zay Mincy. I see Jalen Mbakwe. Oh, my gosh, I cannot get Jalen Mbakwe's memories at Clay Chalkville dominating on his birthday against Thompson. Like Jalen Mbakwe, and really, Jalen Mbakwe at practice. The 3 times that we were at practice, I went to 2 of them. One, we were stuck in Arizona for the Final Four. Stuck. That was great. But we saw 2 practices, and every time we were out there, Jalen Mbakwe is huge. Zay Mincy is huge. They're big guys. And Damani Jackson is as well. So, you see the physical tools are there, but it's a huge lack of experience. We've gone over it a million times already. Damani Jackson is the only cornerback with college experience. You want to throw these guys, Zay Mincy, you want to throw Xavier Brown against some of these receivers. Look, Luther Burden is on the schedule. Missouri is on the schedule. Look, it's not going to be I just don't feel great about it. That's all. I just don't feel great about it. I think they're extremely talented guys, but you want more experience in the room because when cornerback X or Y or Z comes off the field and says, hey, I saw this. Hey, I saw that. You want people in your circle on the sidelines that you can say, oh, I've seen that before. This is what you need to do about that. Like the experience matters. And the only way to get the experience is to play. So what are you going to do about that? You got cornerbacks. You got to go get a corner. I've got 6 corners on the roster. I got 6 safeties on the roster. I didn't count every single position because I feel good, well, somewhat good about inside linebacker. You want that third inside linebacker if you can get it. But really, if you have 2 scholarships to work with, you have to choose. Do I want a third inside linebacker? Do I want a second string center? Or do I want a corner with great experience? Or, I mean, obviously you're going to have 2 options. Do I get 2 corners? Do I get a corner and a third inside linebacker? Do I get a corner and a center? You've got some problems along the offensive line in the interior. Now, I counted 6 offensive guards and 6 tackles, 12 scholarship players, 1 center with Parker Brailsford. And while Coach Kalen DeBoer seems very, very confident in Parker Brailsford's return and his the positive play that he will get when he returns to the team, we haven't seen it in the spring. We don't know. I'm not one of those. Look, I like to see it. I used to get really, really excited about my Chicago Bears, but they broke my heart, and so now I'm kind of like a wait and see kind of a person. You want to see it out of Parker Brailsford. Right now, you haven't seen it in an Alabama uniform, and heaven forbid he has a bad day, or heaven forbid, like even a normal thing. He rolls his ankle and can't play one week. Who are you playing at center? Who's playing center for this team? Is it Joe Ionata? My man, Joe Ionata. Love you, dude. Keep working hard, right? Or is it William Sanders right there out of Brookwood High School? Those 2 guys got some reps at center at 8A, and they did fine for freshmen, for early enrollees who have never played center before. But again, it goes back to the corner discussion. Do you want to have a center, your second string center, no college experience, no nothing? I think that Ionata and I think William Sanders and I think Casey Poe are going to be good linemen for this team. I do. They have the mental makeup of, we're going to accept all challenges and grow from it. I see that in those 3 guys. But again, it's a great mystery. It's a great mystery. And so if you are in the transfer portal right now, if you're Kalen DeBoer and you say, I have 2 scholarships and I got to maximize these 2 scholarships, you don't need any running backs. Alabama's loaded. You don't really, would you like a wide receiver? Sure, but that'd be absolutely luxurious. You can't take on a wide receiver if you only have 2 spots. You saw what happened at 8A without Jahad Campbell. You need that third inside linebacker. Now, look, I think it's kind of a weak mindset to say, well, what if Billy gets hurt? Or what if Johnny gets hurt? Or what if Steven gets hurt? I think that's a kind of a loser mindset because, hey, man, getting hurt is part of football. We're just going to have to go, just plan. But you have to plan for it. It is a loser mindset, but from a coaching standpoint, you have to plan for it. The depth is a problem on this team in the interior. Well, with center, it's a problem. It's a problem at cornerback, and it's a problem at inside linebacker. So those 3 areas, how would you fill the last 2 spots? Would you rather have a backup center, or would you rather have a backup center and a third string linebacker and just roll with the corners that you have? Maybe. The corners are very talented, but again, no experience at all. None. They went through spring practice, and that was about all. So yeah, they've been guarding Jeremy Bernard and Kendrick Law and Kobe Prentice, but what real experience has they gotten over the spring that makes you think that they're going to be ready in the fall? So I see 83 scholarships. Sorry, I'm getting lost in my notes a little bit. I see 83 scholarships already filled. In a perfect world, maybe that's actually 82. And you can get a center, a third string inside linebacker, and a corner. I think the math is mathing there inside the Malmore Athletic Facility. I think they are currently crunching math as we go. So we'll see what happens. The transfer portal is officially closed as of midnight last night. Tony Mitchell goes into the portal, and he becomes one of the many. Look, let's look at it. Oh my gosh, how many defensive backs has Alabama lost since Nick Saban retires? Jameer Grimsley was an early enrollee, never really even got on the field. I'm just going down our list thanks to my man Tony Sikalis at Tide Illustrated. He's got himself a little list. Caleb Downs, obviously, that's 2. Trey Amos, again, that's 3. Went to Ole Miss. Austin Mack, Amari Nye, Black, Ian Jackson. We got Jameer Grimsley. Yep. Antonio Kite went to Auburn is 4. Des Ricks to A&M is 5. Trey Amos, yep. Shaz Preston, Isaiah Bond. We are at 5. Antonio Kite, there he is again. Jake Pope is 6. Good for you. Christian Story, 7. How many of these dadgum defensive backs went into the transfer? Earl Little is 8. Keep on scrolling. Christian Story, Earl Little again. Seth McLaughlin, Miles Kitselman, 8. We're still on 8. Are we going to get to 9? Okay, we're at 9 with Peyton Woodyard, and we're with 10 with Tony Mitchell. 10 defensive backs hitting the transfer portal post Nick Saban. And look, people can say, "Oh, this is a huge problem. Oh my gosh, Alabama." But let's put our thinking caps on. Nick Saban, obviously the head coach at Alabama, but basically the secondary coach, basically the corner coach. And so Nick Saban retires. This is just a natural part of coaching transition. Most of these guys had good relationships or, had relationships with Coach Saban. And more than that, they came to Alabama to get coached by Nick Saban. Look, I had a coaching change between my junior and senior year of high school, a head coaching change. And I've said it a million times. I was an average Andy athlete. I was not very good. I started only a few games my senior year. We were not talking about superstar here, but I was butthurt by my coach leaving. I was upset with the new coach coming in. And I was like, man, I have to make a relationship with this new coach. I don't know him. It's my senior year. Now look, it's high school. The academics and everything about my parents, transferring was never really on the table. But if it were on the table, I might have considered it. I might have tried to follow my old coach. I might have tried to follow a coach that I have played for before, or a coach in the city that I knew, right? I understand these guys. Don't overreact. You have 10 defensive backs going to the transfer portal. You're just going to have to. We're still in the early days of Kalen DeBoer. Yeah, I know it feels like it's been a year already since January, but it's only been January, February, March, April, 3.5 months-ish. You're still in the very early days in the transition. And Peyton Woodyard goes on the transfer portal, 2 days ago? Look, when he signed and decided to be an early enrollee, he thought he was going to go do Rose Bowl practice with Nick Saban and roll right into his freshman year with Nick Saban yelling at him all year long and getting him better. When things change, especially for the people that it changes the most for, obviously it changed for everyone. But there's just a different element with the defensive backs. And so I caution everybody to say, oh my gosh, Alabama can't retain any DBs. Well, yeah, but I don't think it's Mo Linguist's fault. I don't think it's Colin Hitchler's fault. I don't think it's Kane Womack's fault. I think that there's a little bit of dealing with newness and making new relationships. And in the case of Peyton Woodyard and Tony Mitchell, you give them credit for, going through spring, seeing how it went. And at this point, I didn't like it, or I'm too low in the depth chart, or I'm not getting the opportunities I wanted, or we're not seeing whatever the case may be. That's what the transfer portal is for. Now, do I dislike it as a concept? Kind of, because I think it hurts the fans. I think it hurts really getting to know the programs and the teams, but it's just the nature of the beast. I love NIL. I'm not as much a fan of the transfer portal. So Alabama, 10 defensive backs have gone in the transfer portal since Nick Saban's retirement. I think now is kind of a reset, a restart. Basically from here, it's Kalen DeBoer's program. Now, I know he took over in January, but you've got a lot of the transition, shuffling in, shuffling out, resetting things. I think from here, boom, it's Kalen DeBoer's program. You've gotten rid of, not always pushed out, but some cases pushed out. You've gotten rid of players who didn't want to be here. You've gotten rid of Coach Saban, loyalists who want to go find opportunities otherwise. Great. You bring guys in who want to play for you. That's one thing about the transfer portal is people complain about, oh, Johnny goes in the transfer portal. He doesn't, oh, he's mentally soft. Oh, this, that, or the other. But if he doesn't want to be at your university, if he doesn't want to play for your football program anymore, if he's not seeing the opportunities unfold for him that he thought, why would you want to keep him? Why would you want to keep I don't want to say a bad apple, but someone who's not all in, someone who's, oh man, I wish there was a transfer portal. I wish there was a portal. I'd hit it tomorrow. I'd leave this program tomorrow, blah, blah, blah. Like at some point it's like, oh, if he wants to leave, all right, the portal's open in the spring. You can go ahead and go. Like, you want to keep the guys who are dedicated to the program. And during this time of you had the winter window and the spring window open, you saw a lot of guys undergo some transitions. Oh, I don't want to play under new coach. Oh, I don't like the new coach. Oh, the system's different. Oh, I can go excel somewhere else. Oh, I can go make more money somewhere else. Like, there's all kinds of reasons why these guys would want to leave. But if they want to leave, you say good luck, and we'll fill the spot with someone who wants to be here, someone who's bought in, someone who, believes in the new coach, believes in the new system. And so, look, does it stink to lose Alabaster's own, Thompson High School's own, Tony Mitchell, 5-star prospect? Absolutely, it does. You don't want to see talent leave your program. You don't. But it's just a part of the college football landscape. It's just a part of what happens. It's just part of where we are in college football today. All right, so let's get right to it. There's your scholarship numbers. There's your Tony Mitchell. 2 guys who are visiting Alabama. 2 guys who are visiting Alabama that, look, if you are 83, would you be happy with using both scholarships on cornerback? Or is this going to be a one gets the scholarship? Which one of you guys wants to commit? Let's get into it. 2 guys are visiting. Isaiah Hamilton from Houston is visiting this coming up week. Houston transfer, started 12 games last year, played 840 snaps, 4 interceptions, 50 tackles, and 3.5 tackles for loss. This man stands at 6'1", 175. He's a junior. He previously came from Texas Southern. He's a Channelview High School native. Houston man. Maybe he and Jalen Milroe know each other just out of Houston. But I like 6'1", 185. I like 4 interceptions. I like 12 starts in the Big 12, right? Big 12, Houston? Or is that all American Conference? Houston Football Conference. That's American, isn't it? I'm about to be American. Yeah, it's the American. So look, he goes 12 games in the American. It's not Power 5, but you got 4 interceptions and it's experience. I think that would be a really solid option. Right now, look, I'm not going to go through the tape and look up Isaiah Hamilton and watch his tape. I'm not going to do that until they commit to the school and then we got to get to know him. But Isaiah Hamilton is on the radar. And then the other guy, Deshaun Jones from Wake Forest is visiting this weekend. 6 foot, 181 pounds. Deshaun Jones, cornerback, started 9 games for the Demon Deacons, 37 tackles, 1.5 for a loss, 3 interceptions, and 2 pass breakups last year, right there in the ACC. 2 guys that, what are you looking for out of the corner room? Experience. Because I don't think you need a superstar. I don't think you need, we need to go find Pat Surtain. We need to find Terry Arnold out of the transfer portal. Pay him a lot of money. No. You just need somebody who's played a lot of football or played a decent amount of football so that when Jalen Mbakwe and Zay Mincy and Zabian Brown come off the sidelines and say, oh, crap, I've never seen this look before. I've never seen this route combination. I've never seen this release before. Someone is on the sidelines, whether it's Damani Jackson or whether it's Isaiah Hamilton or Deshaun Jones, to be able to talk them through those moments. I think it's very, very vital that Alabama gets a corner, and those are 2 corners that are on Alabama's radar. All right, so there we go. You got your scholarship limits, 83. We've talked about Tony Mitchell leaving town, hitting the transfer portal. We've hit the couple places where Alabama's got to address the transfer portal. Cornerback, 3rd inside linebacker, and center. 2 guys who have visited, Isaiah Hamilton and Deshaun Jones. Look, I'm going to round this out by going off the wall, not Alabama related, but Deion Sanders in Colorado. I'm sorry. I don't know what to do with you because there's one part of me that, I love the brash confidence. But there's a huge part of me that's really, really turned off by what's going on in Colorado. Now, look, on one hand, you've got a fair argument that, oh, Deion Sanders running off players from a 1-11 team and running off players, what were they, 4-8 last year, running off players from 2 losing teams in a row. They've had a lot of guys go in the transfer portal over the last 2 years. And it sounds like Deion has not been very kind about encouraging some of those players to go into the transfer portal. I'm not fool enough to believe that doesn't happen everywhere. It does. You get coaches, hey, Johnny, hey, Billy, hey, Steve, I know you've really been working hard, but I don't know that you have a future here. We really need your scholarship. Some sort of conversation like that happens across America. But goodness gracious, what doesn't happen is when Billy does transfer out and finds himself a new school and somebody asks, hey, Billy, what happened with you at, Alabama? Oh, the coach just wanted to go. You might get the negative article. The coach pushed me out. But what are you doing? Just responding, perpetuating this. You're perpetuating the narrative that you're a petulant child. You're perpetuating the narrative that you're not really qualified to coach and to lead men. You're perpetuating the narrative that, oh, he doesn't know what he's doing. Oh, he's just hired because he's got a loud mouth. Oh, he's just hired because he's a former good Look, I think Deion probably is a pretty good little football coach. But goodness gracious, you make it really tough to defend. Well, obviously, we all saw Colorado last year get off to a good start and then the wheels really started to fall apart because of the depth issues, because of the guys that he pushed out in the transfer portal and he was able to pull some in, but the depth was an issue with Colorado all year long, and it looks like it's going to be another issue this year. What are you doing? Painting the target on your back for all 12 of your opponents. You saw yesterday, if you're on Twitter or on X, Deion Sanders basically doubling down on Shedeur Sanders' take that one of these I don't even know who it was. I think his name was Xavier Smith, was basically like, oh, Coach Prime was mean to me. Oh, Coach Prime never got to know me. Oh, Coach Prime, basically, he took my hand. He took my handle off my back and he put the transfer portal on my jersey. He tried to push me out. Okay, it was a bad experience. Fine. But Shedeur basically being like, oh, I didn't even know this guy existed. He must have been trash. What is this? You're literally trying out for the NFL right now. You're trying out for your professional positions right now, brother. And Deion Sanders is trying out. I mean, look, you might be at Colorado for the rest of your life. Could be. But let's put our glasses on it. It looks like Deion is using Colorado to get to a bigger job, or that's what it seemed like when he took the Colorado job. Maybe that has changed. But goodness gracious, Shedeur, you look like a terrible turd, basically pooping on your teammates or your ex-teammates on the way out the door. Oh, he stunk. Oh, he wasn't any good. And whether that's just you having fun on Twitter, people are going to take that serious. People are going to take that and run. They already did. They already created their own narratives about you, Shedeur Sanders. Oh, bad teammate. Oh, bad leader. And while I don't know you, I haven't covered you. I've just seen you through the screen. I have a hard time not believing that. No, it could be totally inaccurate. You see other reports, the flip side of the coin, saying, oh, Shedeur's teammates love him. Oh, people are inspired to play for him. You see that side. But, man, what are we doing? Going on Twitter, bashing people who are not in your program anymore. Yeah, they're upset. Things didn't work out in your program. Okay. But if you have this, oh, we're going forward, we're moving forward mindset, we're growing, we're building, we're trying to build something here at Colorado, leave the hooey in the dust. Sorry, leave the hooey behind. The guy, I think, went to Austin Peay, transferred to Austin Peay. Is that what it was? You've got guys who are transferring to smaller programs. Like, it's very obvious that, okay, maybe he's not a Power 5 football player. We don't need you, Shedeur, to get out there and say, oh, well, he was trash. I don't remember him. And Coach Prime to go right up behind him and be like, oh, my gosh, I can't believe this guy's talking. Like, I'm an average Andy athlete. But I have experiences too as a human. I've been in some programs and, different experiences. Look, if you're the leader of men, if you're the leader of the program, you got to be almost blinders on bulletproof. If you want to respond to that in a press conference, I guess if somebody's going to ask you about it, sure. But going on Twitter just to stir things up, I mean, imagine. I like Lane Kiffin, but Lane Kiffin isn't even doing that noise on Twitter. Imagine Nick Saban. You got 20 guys transfer out of the program almost every year for the last 3 years. Imagine Nick Saban being like, "Oh yeah, Jalen Hurts, he's no good." Like what? Like, and obviously that's a silly example, but like, who can I think of? Jackson Bratton, perfect example. Jackson Bratton leaves Alabama and I believe goes to UAB, and awesome. I hope his career worked out well. I haven't followed it. I don't know. But, like, if Coach Saban, oh, man, he was no good. Of course, he transferred out of the program. What if Jackson Bratton was like, I never got a shot at Alabama. It just didn't work. Never got a shot. The coaches never get. Look, it's fine. The Alabama program is, I hate to be this arrogant, but bigger than one guy saying, oh, I didn't get a shot. Oh, the coaches were mean to me. Oh, this, that, and the other. Oh, nobody gave me a fair chance. Coach Saban would never entertain that with any comment. He would, oh, well, we wish him best. At the most. Oh, well, I hope things work out for him at the next school. At the most. Look. You might be a good football coach, and Colorado, you might go 12-0 this year, but why paint the target on your back and on your son's back? I mean, both your sons' back. I don't understand it. I looked through the Colorado schedule last night, and once again, I saw 4-8, 5-7. Look, Deion, you want to do that again? You want to make all this noise, and you want to go 4-8, 5-7? I'm sorry, like the college football world is going to clown you as they should if you're going to do that. Maybe you need to get off Twitter, and maybe he's not on Twitter that much. He said, "Oh, I have time today," and maybe there's somebody who's running his Twitter account. That might be exactly what is happening. Maybe a different son is running his Twitter account, and Deion never even saw it. But just why play these silly games? I know that Colorado has really enjoyed the attention over the last year or so, but at what point is, okay, we've got our attention at an all-time high? Okay, we're also embarrassed at kind of an all-time high as well. Look, the attention is great, but you need to start winning some ball games. And maybe, look, the other thing, the wild thought that I've got, I really think is a possibility that once Shedeur Sanders gets drafted, Deion Sanders says, see ya, I'm out of here, and either retires or I don't know what he's going to do. But just wonder if Colorado is going to really regret this era that they're in at the moment, because I think Deion Sanders made them look very, very, very badly in the last 12 hours, along with his son, Shedeur Sanders. And look, whether Shedeur cares about how he looks on social media, that's fine. You can, I don't care how I look. You can come after me. No problem. You are trying out still, like you are putting on an active resume for the NFL right now. They want to see how you respond to things. They want to see how you lead your team. And you might have felt like the guy who transferred was total trash. And you might have felt like he wasn't a good teammate. And you might have felt like he wasn't invested. And you might have felt like he's not a good guy. Whatever. You're the quarterback. You're the quarterback. Keep your mouth, keep it classy from the quarterback position, really. And lead your team from a point of, we're taking the high road. Oh, that guy's upset. He didn't work out. That's okay. We wish him the best. That's it. I've been flabbergasted. I've really enjoyed Twitter over the last day and a half. There's been a lot of drama that has been going on from different sides of things. I've been really just shocked at Deion Sanders, just how he's conducting his business out there on the Twitter machine. We're going to keep things rolling on the Joe Gaither Show tomorrow. We're going to talk more roster transactions, and maybe we'll get into some baseball and see what's going on. Look, it's May. I want to start getting into fall schedules. We'll start predicting Alabama's record. We'll start predicting Auburn's record, LSU, Tennessee, and all 16 SEC teams. We'll start predicting their records over the next couple of weeks. We hope you guys have enjoyed the program. Look, we'll be at a year old, 3 weeks or so? 1 year old on the show in about 3 weeks. So I cannot wait for that. I really am appreciative of Chris Walsh putting us on each and every day. You can subscribe to the channel, the Bama Central YouTube channel. And you can see all kinds of things. The Joe Gaither Show, obviously, but you can see press conferences from softball, baseball, basketball, football, really any sport that we are involved in. You can see the action right there on the Bama Central YouTube channel. Next Wednesday, 1 week from today, I'm going to be up at the Regions Pro-Am, and we'll have video of Kalen DeBoer and of Greg Byrne and of Nate Oates. I believe all three will be in attendance. That'll be right there at the Bama Central YouTube channel for their appearances up in Birmingham. That's going to do it for my show today. I appreciate everybody who's watching us. We got a bunch of people up in the corner. I appreciate everybody watching us. If you're a bot or if you're my friend or a follower, I appreciate you all the more. You can find me at Joe Gaither 6 on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, really wherever you like on your social medias. You can connect with me at Joe Gaither 6. You can connect with Bama Central at Bama Central on the YouTube channel. We'll be out of here and be back for another edition of the Joe Gaither Show tomorrow right here on Bama Central and BamaCentral.com.